Hello friends, today we will discuss public debt. So what is it? It is the total amount of money that is owed to the public by the government to meet the development funds. Government takes money from the public to meet the development requirements. In public finance, it is also known as public interest, government debt, national debt or sovereign debt. It can be owed to lenders within the country. Even foreign lenders can owe money to the public, but this type of debt is called external debt. By handing out government bonds and bills, the government can create public debt. The debt that is the addition of all prior deficit is also termed as public debt. If one person wants to analyze the public debt, the common method to do so is to check the duration until the repayment is due. Debt can be either short term, medium term, or long term. A debt of 1 year or less is considered short-term loan. In contrast, the one that go for around 10 years or longer period come under long-term debt. The one that is between these two ranges 1 year to 10 year. In the middle of these two timing is termed as medium-term debt. Types of public debt. There are 4 types of public debt. First is internal debt and external debt. The government's borrowing within the country is known as internal debt. The government can borrow its debt from sources like banks, individuals, business, firms, and internal sources. On the other hand, the government's borrowing from abroad or international is known as external debt. These types of debt contribute to the development programs. A few of the sources are bilateral borrowings, means both countries are borrowing from each other, or multilateral borrowings, loans from the Asian Development Bank, World Bank, IMF, etc. Productive and unproductive debt. If the loan is financed for projects that will bring revenue to the government, is known as productive debt. They are self-liquidating in nature, means they give money in return when they are prepared, for example irrigation power projects, infrastructure, etc. When the loans are net burden on the community, they are known as unproductive debt. In this case, the government additional taxation for service and repayment. Compulsory and voluntary debt. Loans that are raised due to the government's borrowing from the public by using measures are known as compulsory debt. For example, the taxes paid by the public. The members of the public and institutions like commercial banks can subscribe to the securities issued by the government or purchase the securities issued by the government loans, which is known as voluntary debt. For example, the public borrowings. Redeemable and irredeemable debt. The debt that the government repays after fixed period is known as redeemable debt. To sell securities to the public, the government borrows money from them. The interest on this debt is paid irregularly. The debt that has no promised date of repayment by the government is known as irredeemable debt. Therefore, the interest paid may be regular, but such borrowings are not reported by the government. Public debt management is the process of establishing and executing a method for regulating the government's debt. This process also includes meeting any other sovereign debt management